David Denham with Represent Roanoke Valley chapter leader. We're about getting big money out of the political system. I'm also co-pastor with Tree of Life Church, and fundamentally for my profession, this is not doing good. The pipeline is not doing good to our neighbors. MVP went through the same broken federal system as the Atlantic Coast Pipeline. Former Attorney General Ken Cuccinelli's recent documentary in the Washington Post wrote, "The landowners are paying a price for Dominion's Atlantic Coast Pipeline, but they, like every other Dominion customer in Virginia, will also pay hard cash for this unneeded project when the utility bill shows up, thanks to a poorly regulated monopoly scheme that Dominion and its political cronies had constructed." Dominion is the big money power broker in Virginia. The federal agency that approves these projects and authorizes eminent domain does not analyze whether the project is necessary. Instead, the government simply asks whether anyone has signed a contract to use the pipeline. If so, the federal government deems the project needed, completely ignoring the fact for the Atlantic Coast Pipeline, about 90% of the contracted capacity has been sold to sister companies. I'm opposed to captive monopoly customers shouldering the cost and risk of Dominion projects that are rubber stamped without anyone at any level asking whether the pipeline provides value to Virginians. From my view as a former Attorney General, that's not me, folks, the process that allows Dominion to do business this way is broken, and Virginia consumers will be left holding the bag. Where is our current Attorney General, Mark Herring? The people of Virginia need him to defend us from the destruction MVP is causing to our economy and environment. Where is Secretary of Public Safety, Homeland Defense, Brian Moran? The people of Virginia need the fusion centers to protect us, not a corrupt corporation harming our economy and destroying our land and water. Law enforcement officers should be providing protection to the citizen monitors who are recording and reporting important information to government agencies and the public about the negligence of the MVP subcontractor Precision Pipeline. Last week, we, the customers of Roanoke Gas, were disappointed that instead of welcoming our concerns about the escalating costs of the MVP and addressing them, Roanoke hired off-duty police officers to keep us from parking in the public utilities parking lot and delivering our letter of concerns. The off-duty officers looked like they were on duty because they were wearing Roanoke City uniforms, and they used Roanoke City police cars. Roanoke Gas is a public utility who has an obligation to listen to the public's concerns. We, Roanoke City taxpayers, are delivering a letter to Roanoke City Police Chief requesting that off-duty officers not wear Roanoke City Police uniforms or use Roanoke City Police cars when they are hired for private security. Copies of the letter will be sent to the Roanoke City Manager and the Roanoke City Council.
Okay.
And that could be forwarded to you too.
Yeah, if you could forward me that letter. But it does seem, isn't it, and I haven't had time to check on this, but I'm pretty sure it's sort of common policy when Roanoke police officers are hired in an off-duty capacity to provide security, they wear their uniforms. You see it out at Valley View Mall.
Unfortunately, we went to our lawyer for another matter right here in town when we were done last week. So before we asked him about our personal matter, we asked him about that. And what you said, according to him, is right. But there is a confusion. You think about us and the public. that, you know, they aren't really on duty as Roanoke City Police, but they're representing themselves as Roanoke City Police. And
Other localities don't do that. It went viral on Facebook when people heard about that.
Well, forward me the letter when you send it to Chief Jones. please.
There's information in there that's private right now to the police chief, and that, but I'll forward what he just read to you.
And I'd also like to mention that I spoke with Bill Bestpitch, who's on the Roanoke City Council
Forwarded me the
church.
email.
And,
You forwarded me, I think, an email.
oh, did I? Okay.
Thank
But anyway, I talked with him, and he said, yeah, we talked about this after Charlottesville with Sherman Lee, and they are concerned about counter demonstrators showing up. Well, I doubt that anybody was going to show up as a counter demonstrator and say, no, we want our rates raised. And so my question to him specifically was, does Roanoke City have a policy? He was a little taken aback by the use of the city cars. So he wasn't really specifically informed about what Roanoke City's own policy is on this, and that's something that I have not gotten clarification about. But I did specifically ask Bill Bestpitch. He had just gotten back from a vacation to a Caribbean island, but I had contacted him while he was there just to let him know that this had come up. So we need to find out what the policy is.
Yes, yes.
Exactly what the policy is. Yes, there are things that are, quotes, legitimate and legal to do by the letter of things. However, if you could capture in what you write, the confusion that leaves people like us, because we don't know that.
Yeah, I looked
And
over
then
the
here
parking
they
lot
are
and I
with
saw
police
Roanoke City Police in
Yeah.
the private parking lot of
Right.
RGC.
They
So
were
we can't help but have
intimidated,
confusion, you know. So.
Yes, they were.
They did not act like normal Roanoke City police officers.
Here's the
And
problem. If Roanoke City lets themselves be represented by people in Roanoke City uniforms driving Roanoke City cars, and if they act in an intimidating way, then it represents the city in a way that could come back to be a public relations problem. And they need to be more careful about their policy and everything.
Well, I think they are representing the city. They're just doing it instead of the taxpayers paying for their work, they're being paid for whoever hired them. Whether it's
I don't know if that's
mall
their viewpoint on this. If it is, it seems a little irresponsible. I mean, because they ought to represent themselves instead of just trusting Roanoke Gas to do the right thing with us.
The Carillion security guard walked up when we were there and asked us not to park in the parking lot, which that didn't need police, he was very polite.
Yes,
He was more polite than the off-duty police,
He was.
Roanoke City police officer. Would you mind moving your cars? No, that's fine. You know, he said, we thought it was okay to park there. He said, well, this is a private lot on the security end.
Do you want to tell
But-
Lawrence what he said to you when you first got
I
there?
need to run
No,
here,
but I just wanted to say one of the reasons why we were doing this here in front of this building is because Roanoke City and the Water Authority is estimating it's going to cost millions of dollars each year to remove the
Well, it's
sediment.
Roanoke
Yes.
City.
Yeah.
The
yes.
36 million, not per year. It's over 20 years, but that was done
But
on
that's
a very
millions of
conservative
dollars each
estimate.
year. It's $36 million every
And
You got a
I
quote from Bill
believe,
Bestpitch on
I
that,
believe too that wasn't based on during construction.
It's
Because they
ongoing.
didn't
It's because of
really
the disruption
actually
of the
know
land.
how much
Anyhow,
it would
at this
cost
point, the
during
Mountain Valley Pipeline we want to get the word out to people in Roanoke City who might think that it doesn't matter to them because they're not landowners,
Right.
that it's going to make their energy.
But that has been reported many times.
But the water part is that they're going to cost more. They're going to pay more for the water that they get from their tap and now from their
The
base
cost
rates.
of removing or dealing with the sedimentation.
That's stormwater
Yeah.
runoff. That 36
Well,
So that has been reported because I missed that.
I'm
Probably.
pretty sure it
I
came
think
out
it has
in a
been.
city council meeting last year that Matt Chittum wrote about.
But the water filtration
They
will
had a
also probably
resolution
go up, and nobody has
regarding
talked about that.
36 million.
Well,
We're gonna have to
concerned
put
about the
more
utilities
finer
with
and
the
finer
water,
filters
and now
on the
there's
water.
gas that's making our utility costs go up.
I have a
So it's
quick
gonna be
question though.
water
As a Roanoke gas customer, have you received any notification from the company about the rate increase?
No,
Okay.
I just
Because
saw your
we had-
article.
we
Yeah,
haven't either.
and just to follow up on your point about them announcing that it really wasn't an announcement. It just by chance, the State Corporation Commission in Richmond, who probably knew nothing about the protests, they put out a news release saying they were holding a public hearing, and that's how we first found out about the rate increase. And then we called Roanoke Gas, and then they made the statement. But it was not an announcement. It wasn't a proactive, Roanoke
Yeah, it
Gas
didn't come
telling
from
us.
them.
Because,
They
and
were
I've been
holding
going
it
to their
back for now.
website, and I don't see anything yet on it either.
And that
So just for what
concerns
it's
us
worth.
too, as far as transparency and accountability goes. I mean, we were just looking at the lay of the land and thinking, I was projecting that they're going to get ready because of what happened in South Carolina. I was just like, we were right on the same path as the people in South Carolina are, and it's not a path we want to go down.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks
Well,
so much.
I need to
Thanks
run.
for
It's
coming.
a busy day.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is a
Thanks.
busy
Forward back
day.
to you.
All
Thank
right,
you.
Thank you. And if there comes a point in the future where you can share that letter to the police chief, because that's what I'd really like to see, let me know.
Okay. Well, okay. We will.
All right, thanks.
Are you going to try to talk though?
I was going to ask him to take a photograph of us. But
Well,
he's
we can.
in-
Somebody. But I want to get.
Well, he doesn't know how to do that.
Hey, can you take a photograph of us? If each person holds 2 posters, we probably get a lot of. Okay, this one. You can do that one, David. That's. Which one's yours? Okay, so let's see.